New developments in the trial of the man accused of killing the central character in the American Sniper book and movie. The mother of accused killer Eddie Ray Routh taking the stand and giving detailed testimony on her son's battle with mental illness and how Chris Kyle promised he'd do everything in his power to help him. Let's bring in Kent Zimmerman. He is a legal analyst, a contributor to the National Law Journal, and a former general counsel. Troy Slaten also with us. He's a criminal defense attorney and a former prosecutor. Troy, to you first. What is the value of putting the mother on the stand? One of the things she said is that her son returned from service in the Marines a very changed and troubled man.
It said, John, that nobody knows you better than your mom. The defense team put her on. It's her job to show the jury that he was completely different when he came back, when he was honorably discharged from the Marines, and that he was a changed person. And also that the VA was not giving him proper treatment for his PTSD.
Kent, she is the one who asked Chris Kyle to help her son, said she had heard that Chris was doing great things for troubled veterans, but she claims she didn't know that he would take her son to a shooting range. Is this a kind of a blame the victim sort of testimony?
You know, some people see it that way. John, I just think this is such a sad case. This is a Marine. He served his country honorably by all accounts, 2 tours in Iraq, a tour in Haiti after the earthquake there. There's no question that he was deeply troubled when he returned home to North Texas, and there's no question that he shot these 2 people. But really, if you cut through all the testimony, the only question that this whole thing is going to rest on is, at the time he pulled the trigger, did he know right from wrong? And there's evidence on both sides of that question. Some of the things that we've heard at trial so far suggest that he may not have known right from wrong. For example, the victims texted friends just before the shooting, and they said this guy is straight up nuts, suggesting that he was insane. Also, afterwards, the defendant told Texas Rangers that he believed that those 2 guys who he shot were going to shoot him if he didn't kill him first. That suggests he may not have known right from wrong. There's also evidence to suggest, though, that he did know right from wrong. For example, he fled from police, suggesting that he knew that he had done a bad thing and would go to jail for it. So there's evidence on both sides. It's going to hinge on whether he knew right from wrong, though.
The mother of the accused, the first to testify. We will keep our viewers updated on who else testifies on behalf of the defense. Let's turn to another case that has changed quite a bit in the last 24 hours. Some new details on that deadly road rage shooting we've been telling viewers about in Las Vegas. Police now say that the victim, a 44-year-old mother of 4, actually went looking for the suspect who ended up killing her. Authorities also say she brought her adult son along with her, who was armed at the time. Troy, it does change the complexion of all of this. She was taking her daughter for a test drive, teaching her to drive. On their way home, apparently, this guy gets aggressive, slams on his brakes in front of her. Her daughter honks the horn. The guy gets out of his car, has some verbal confrontation with the mother. She drives around him, goes home, gets her son. Apparently, he brings a gun, and they go looking for the guy. They didn't find him. All of a sudden, they go home. The guy finds them, and this shooting breaks out. Does that in any way change the severity of the charges for whoever is ultimately apprehended in this case?
Well, it could provide a colorable defense in that he may have been acting in self-defense. Now, he followed them home, so that doesn't look good, but he may very well say that they brandished a gun and he was following them in order to notify the police. Look, what the mom did by dropping off her daughter and picking up her son, who she knew had a gun, was the absolute wrong thing to do. We don't want vigilantism. If she thought that the person had done the wrong thing by braking quickly in front of her or even getting out of the car and yelling at her, she should have called the police. What she shouldn't have done is got her son and gone out with a gun looking for trouble. And it seems like that's exactly what she did.
Kent, how do you see it?
You know, I don't think she should have gone out looking for trouble, but at the same time, she did not deserve to get killed for doing that. The only self-defense that I could see working is if evidence comes about that shows that the shooter was in imminent fear for his life at the time he pulled the trigger. And so far, we haven't seen any evidence to that effect. Just because she went looking for him, which was not a smart thing to do and turned out to be a deadly mistake, just because she did that doesn't mean she deserved to get shot. That's obviously not right.
Hard to believe that road rage can lead to homicide like this. Troy Slaten, Kent Zimmerman, thank you both.